You hit your stride with whistling. I remember at the beginning, when we started this podcast, you couldn't whistle.
I had to learn how to whistle to do this podcast.
I know.
We originally were supposed to be a whistling podcast. We didn't have what it took. I think these mics are more conducive to it, though.
To what? To whistling?
Whistling, yeah. Try it.
Woo!
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hit me with a whistle here. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I can't. It's like drinking out of a Capri Sun for me. Yes. That's like a songbird stuff.
To go home.
Then he makes it fast with one more
Can you do the
inward whistle?
Inhale whistle?
We are the Sultans.
Nice.
We are the Sultans.
That's a lost art. Guys were better at whistling because we used to be better at catcalling.
Yeah.
You know, we can't catcall anymore.
I don't know why it's not bird calling. You're
Well-
whistling like that. Cats don't whistle.
Wow.
You guys should record that yourselves whistling to like help women. So they have,
I think we
audio
just
for
did.
it.
Yeah. What do they
To
call
help
that?
women ignore it? Or like,
I guess they were like, I need help, but I don't know.
Whistling Dixie here,
yeah.
folks. Live from the studio. I'm Jimmy Selesky.
I'm Eric Glazer. And we got Sam Kelly back on the cast.
Mysterious Sam Kelly. It's been a long time
while.
since I last saw you. But no, I've seen you a lot recently. You are in the current stage of putting out the newest member of the studio family here.
Yeah, it's the only stage I'm on because I can't get booked around these parts.
Wow, dude.
Oh, no.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I deserve it. Yeah.
I mean, you're not kidding.
No,
You didn't have to frame it like that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't get a job to save my life these days anyway. I mean, either. I mean, it's a cold winter. Let's just put it that way. It's super slow for me. I'm just struggling. All my gigs are getting cut, dude.
Damn.
Literally every one of them. I obviously lost Perennial. Valley Inn is now apparently not doing the Friday solos. I'm like, dude, what am I gonna do?
Oh,
Like,
no.
I literally don't know what I'm gonna do.
Damn.
Yeah, no,
No, I'm
people
fine.
always need like entertainment. Like, it'll
Apparently
come
not in
back,
January. The problem with January is it's
I think the problem is it used to just be the week after Christmas when shit slowed down, and now it's like still slow.
Yeah, we kind of extended the lost week a little bit. Obviously, I always expect Christmas to New Year's to be nothing, but it is like, I didn't realize nobody was doing shit this week either.
Yeah.
I was like emailing people and everyone's like, I'm out, I'm not doing. Why, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Christmas is over. It's 2023, baby.
Yeah,
Hit the
you're
ground
supposed to be
running.
starting on your New Year's resolution already.
Yeah, my resolution was to lose all of my work. And I've accomplished it so far. No,
What about I'm recording though, like releasing recordings, and I don't know anything about SoundCloud except for like Lil Peep, but it's like
oh yeah, I mean,
It's
I'm
like-
I'm recording stuff. I'm not able to pay any rent off of that. My
Yeah.
6,000 Spotify streams.
no, it's awesome. Like,
No, it's cool. Now I'm over exaggerating for entertainment purposes. I'm fine. I think I'm good. But
you don't want to be too good because then you lose like your creative.
Well,
ability.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly. It's just like I come to expect it. And like I said, January is the absolute worst month. I think September's the best month because it's the perfect combination of like still summer, but it's like not annoyingly hot. I love September. And January, as we discuss every January on our annual Shit on January podcast, it's the fucking worst. Literally, it's like there's only one holiday in the whole month, and it's the worst. New Year's Day is the worst holiday.
Okay, thank God. I thought you were going to say Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
I hate Martin Luther. Keep dreaming, pal. No, I think that's February, isn't it?
Maybe.
When is
President's Day is February, isn't it?
When is? Hey, Google.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Google. Don't have
Google. They shut off my Google.
MLK Day is January 16th. Okay.
Oh, you
Sorry.
think they would have given him the whole month? I'm just saying.
Well, they gave him the whole next month.
Yeah.
Black History Month, right? You know,
Wait,
February?
Yeah, but he's not like the. This is not good.
What? He's black?
I'm not going to talk until Maria gets here. She
He's
goes.
allowed to, claim that.
Like,
All right, folks. So we're gonna cut this conversation off now and continue, and we can get a real live black person in here to confirm that Martin Luther King is in fact black. Maria, please confirm.
Do you think he killed prostitutes?
Martin Luther King Jr.? I don't believe. Maybe his father.
Or
maybe
no.
the pastor.
Or no, he just had a thing for prostitutes. But I mean, most like.
Is that what they say, that he killed prostitutes?
Well, that's the thing the FBI was trying to convey, right? Like they were wiretapping him, and they're trying to like discredit him as a person. And back then, the way to do that would be like she's cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of good leader would do that?
Yeah.
While like every single president ever in the White House.
Right. Now it'd be like he's just supporting sex work.
Well, that's
Pretty
true.
much, dude. What do you think JFK was doing?
Oh my God.
He was without a doubt banging Marilyn Monroe, and now that I think about it, might have killed her.
Oh, so here's the thing. I think JFK's brother killed Marilyn Monroe.
Ted?
JFK's brother killed
JFK's
inadvertent-
brother was tapping her the most.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
We have like stat sheets for that. Most
yeah.
taps.
Ted?
Yeah.
I'm confused. There were like several of them, right? Or
Yeah, there's several. The Kennedy curse is an interesting thing to look into because it's kind of like it makes you think it's real. Like when you
Yeah.
look into like all the different like branches of the family tree that like even recently we had a person in Maryland that was like related like not distantly even. It was
Yeah.
like a granddaughter of the Kennedys. One of the
Yeah,
it was like
she was like on a kayak with her son in the fucking like Annapolis River, and then all of a sudden they both were drowned.
Yeah.
Dead.
yeah, one
Like,
of them
that shit doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Right.
JFK was
They're
assassinated.
not like Whitewater Rapids.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. JFK was assassinated by the CIA. We all should accept that at this point. Bobby Kennedy, he like freaking died in a plane crash, right? After what was the one who like killed a woman drunk driving and then just
that
fled
was
the scene?
Ted, I thought.
Ted
Yeah.
Kennedy. Like they're all like mixed up in some weird shit, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, do you think it's like an actual curse, or do you think it's like people who are just like out for them?
I think it's people
Probably
out
a bit
for
of
them.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is a curse? You know, it's a curse is like when the spirits are out for you and just like, and I
Or
guess
just
it's
like
like
karma.
karma.
right.
Like the Kennedy family has done so much evil in the world, it's coming back at them.
Well, it's so weird that it's kind of like
Or
accepted.
it's like how the Jews cursed the Egyptians, where they're like,
Yeah,
they
still
didn't
paying
put
for
the
that
blood
one.
over their door frames, so then all their firstborns get killed.
That's true.
Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to be like ADHD and change, but okay. This is gonna be not go well, but my mother is Jewish, but in my own research, I'm not saying anything about the Holocaust, okay?
Okay.
I'm just saying in the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, there's no evidence that Jews were really enslaved, right? Like that's like all.
I thought you were gonna say in the Jewish Bible they don't even talk about the Holocaust. It's like, okay,
It's true.
it was different time
Their
periods.
silence is
Right.
deafening in the
like-
Torah about the Holocaust.
How come they didn't talk about it back then?
I mean,
It was a big event.
it makes you think. Makes you think.
Right. Like, but yeah, I just always thought that was interesting because I always thought Jewish people were enslaved to like build
Well,
pyramids.
I think
but
that's like,
they're
you know, I almost at this point, it's like, you know, the Jews really don't get any credit for being slaves. Like nobody ever, like whenever a Jewish person tries to bring it up, people are
They
like,
might
all
have
right,
just
dude.
been humble about it. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
No, it's like.
But if that's the case that they weren't, then basically the whole foundations of every Abrahamic religion, being Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and whatever, it's like crumbles down because it's like the whole thing was spawned off of that story. The first book, the first Old Testament, which is the Torah, which is all about like the second book is Exodus, right? You have Genesis where God was like on the first day, he was like, let there be light. No, that was the seventh day. What did he do on the first day?
I think
First
he brought
day he
light.
created the world, I think, right?
And then he created the animals, and then he created the men to rule over the animals, and then he created the
then
women.
He made
Yeah,
all the men.
He said, "Let there be pussy," and
out
then he
of a
created,
rib.
and then but he would have had to create light first, because I feel like he couldn't have done all that shit in the dark. You know?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he was like, "Wait, I can't see anything. I've created the
can't
whole
see
world.
shit."
I can't see shit right now."
Let there be light. Damn, why does this look like shit?
He had to go back on the 8th day. God went back and redid a bunch of shit and fucked up. Like, oh,
Control Z, Control Z, Control Z.
Right, and Adam kept accidentally fucking the animals because it was so dark. So he's
Was
like,
that a
shit, I
thing?
gotta create a woman.
Well, yeah,
now.
the light wasn't on. That's why Eve was like, I think this tree, there's not a snake. I think that's God talking to me. I can't see shit.
I can't see shit.
I think God told me to eat this apple. It kind of contradicts what he told me before.
Yeah.
But I can't see shit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know. I'm gonna give Jews the credit of having been slaves. Because
you.
again, it kind of doesn't matter. I know that a Jewish person might be like, it does matter, but I mean, like, it was so long ago. It's like, honestly, dude, if you're gonna start bringing up everyone was a slave, whose culture wasn't a slave?
Right,
Fun
right.
trivia question. Call on the podcast. Name me one culture who was never enslaved. And go. Can't do it. So it's like, okay, so you guys just wrote the best story about it, I guess.
Nice. Okay.
You know, I don't know. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, it's just interesting. It's like Telephone, the Bible of the day, like that game that you played, where it's like just passing down when history was just.
It is interesting, just like the amount of stuff in the Bible. Like the original Bible was like, Bible's basically like a best of compilation of like every book that was ever written at the time.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't like a Bible. A Bible is just like, there were a bunch of books like somebody published. They didn't publish it, but like they wrote fucking Exodus. They were like, this is how we got out of Egypt. And they wrote like the fucking Leviticus or whatever. And then like the New Testament, especially like the book of John, the book of Mark, the book of Matthew, whatever. They just got them all together and they left certain shit out.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
over the course of time, we're talking, you know, most of the plot of the Bible is mostly, the New Testament is focused in this 30-year period 2,000 years ago when Jesus existed. And then for the past 2,000 years, it's been translated from a billion different languages. And like, you know, so you don't know what was lost in translation there. And then you also don't know like what was removed, like certain things. Like if you read the Old Testament, Leviticus is a tax code. Literally, I swear to God, and that's not a Jewish joke, but I swear to God, like you're reading it and it's like the entire thing is like a man has to pay 10% for every goat he owns to the government. I'm like, am I reading like the 2 AD IRS release right now? It's like, it's insane. Like, why am I reading this, dude?
Yeah. Do you think Trump would have gotten away with hiding his taxes so much?
Maybe not from God, dude. Maybe before he said, let there be light.
I think he just had to turn him over, didn't he? I
Yeah.
think that was in the news. I don't really watch the news, but
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like I
neither do
saw
I.
someone be like, finally they got
Finally, they got his
tax
taxes.
returns.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, it's a little late.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
It's like I'm a
It's been like
centrist.
3
'cause-
years since he's out of office.
Right. Oh no. Well, see, I'm a centrist because I believe I want to know what's in Mar-a-Lago, but I also want to know what's like on Hunter Biden's laptop. Like, it can't
Well,
be
yeah, I
all,
think-
like,
I'm always a big more information the better guy, you know? Like, yeah, I want to see Trump's taxes. Not that I understand it. Like, I'm going to be looking through Trump's taxes and being like, really? You took this deduction on that real estate property in Manhattan? Give me a break. I can't even fucking write off my guitar strings without getting confused on TurboTax. And I'm going to fucking look at Trump's taxes and be like, wow, Trump, really? Chapter 7? What does that even mean?
yeah, exactly. Like,
The fuck?
like, yeah, like, thank you for reminding me of TurboTax. Like, I don't even know.
It's
Like,
that time of year,
like,
baby. It's that time of year.
Gotta do
And I don't
taxes
have my
and
kids
do-
anymore. They
fuck.
were the best tax write-offs, dude.
That's what everybody always says about kids. Great tax write-offs. You know, getting married, having kids. It's great stuff. Yeah, no, I think all that stuff. I mean, like we were talking about the Kennedys before. Like, there's so much stuff that was kept under wraps that, like, honestly, at this point, like, I genuinely we did like a what our honest opinions were on like the major conspiracies, obviously being like the Kennedy assassination, 9/11, moon landing. Of all those popular American conspiracies, I think the Kennedy assassination is the only one that I'm leaning like really heavily into. Like, yeah, they did that shit.
Yeah.
You know, they totally did that shit.
Well, I think the cool thing, not the cool thing about that, but you know what the funnest part about that
The
is?
silver lining.
Hell yeah.
No, I think the craziest thing about the Kennedy assassination is like so many different people had the motive to do it, and they just like can't figure out who actually did it.
Yeah, and then you look into like the guy who they put it on, and then
Like
he was
every
killed.
government agency, every fucking organized crime group at the time, fucking like everybody wanted his ass dead. His fucking VP wanted him dead. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
obviously he would.
Really?
be the
I didn't know
president.
that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, you dirty, dirty boy.
What was his name again? Lyndon Johnson? Was
Lyndon B.
that-
Johnson.
Oh shit. Okay. B for bad bitch. No.
Supposedly had a
Plan B.
huge dick too, as they say.
I thought they were homies. I
The
thought they
B
were like
stood for
Obama.
big dick energy.
Big Johnson.
Big
Lyndon
Johnson.
Big Johnson.
No, yeah, he was definitely. There's certain guys you look at back then, you're like, how did you not know this guy was shady? Like, you just look at that guy, like this guy is fucking. He just looks bad, you know. Like I'll
Yeah.
like fucking Chuck Schumer looks evil to me. I don't know. I just look at him, I'm just like, this guy looks like the fucking
I
like.
mean, same for like growing up when you'd see like Dick Cheney on TV. You're like, oh my god,
Oh my god,
Right,
yeah.
right.
who let this man have power?
Yeah, and I
dude.
mean Pope Benedict did he die yet?
Yeah, I think he just died.
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
I feel like I heard some news
the
recently about.
ex-pope, the first time in 600 years. How the fuck is that not like some prophetic thing that like?
Yeah. Do all popes usually serve life terms? Is that how it goes when you're a pope? Like, how does that go?
He's
thought.
you
not
retire?
the Pope right now, right? I think he was the Pope when like we were kids, right?
Yeah, but I thought that they kind of serve until they die.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
No, because there's like the cool Pope now. Right?
Yeah. He's like
wasn't
the
There
Bernie
like
Sanders
a Pope that's like, it's I don't agree with it, but people can be gay. God actually just told me he changed his mind.
Yeah,
God changed his mind about it. He told me and me only.
he controls
and-
eat it, and you can be gay now.
So forget about all the kid accusations.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like recently, recently I'm talking about 64 worst things ever ago, because everything is the worst thing ever. I feel like there was a recent thing where like the Pope was ousted like 4 or 5 years ago. There was like a major
there's
thing.
like a new Pope voting because they do that thing where they like lock themselves in a church and then you have to like wait for like the white smoke to come out of the chimney and that's how you know they made their decision. They do some like old school shit like that.
I kind of like that shit though.
It is kind of cool
I think that's dope as fuck.
because like no one does shit like that anymore.
Yeah, you know, dude. Oh, also speaking of that, I forgot to mention this Greek mati here, dude. This is the beauty of ancient, what we're talking about, ancient like fucking customs and stuff like that. There's a certain like the thing that I don't like about the Pope is like apparently he is like that's the thing that like gets me about Catholicism is like you're Catholic, right? Technically, Irish
Technically.
Catholic.
I guess I don't know. We went to Immaculate Conception. That's where I got like confirmed and everything.
Don't Catholics believe that the Pope is like the actual like voice of God? Like he's like the guy
I think,
on
like,
earth.
he's definitely like the head honcho of the church. But like I think that's where other branches of Catholicism like differ. Like I know like Lutherans and stuff don't really see the Pope like that.
Yeah, neither do Greek Orthodox.
But also like as a not like very good Catholic, I never saw the Pope like that. You know what I mean? Like he's all the way in fucking Rome or some shit.
Yeah, and it's just like if he really was the voice of God, like would we have to vote on him? You know, like
Right.
shouldn't it be like some kind of Excalibur shit? Like whoever can like
Yeah, pull the fucking like
like
dick out of the boy's ass.
I don't think that's ever been done in the Catholic Church. But like I feel like if you're gonna do something like that, who's here? Is she here?
I still sent the address to you.
Oh shit!
You sent it to me again?
Mercury retrograde.
If I didn't know any better, I think you were high right now.
Yeah. I don't know what to do about that because
What?
because of the protective order, like, but I have my medical cannabis card, but it's like, also my probation officer hasn't checked in with me like 2 or 3 months. Like, that's like when you're in a relationship and you're like, is she still my girlfriend?
You're
And
getting
it's like,
ghosted by your probation officer, your PO.
Jeez.
but
Probation's
yeah,
a scam.
it's like,
They're supposed to check it out. Isn't that their job?
like my probation officer doesn't even want to.
That's literally their
hilarious.
only job now.
PO was like quiet quitting.
Well, as we discussed last time, most of the people that record on this podcast are on probation.
Yeah.
And so I happen to secondhand know a lot about probation.
Right.
And from every account, it's just not a thing. Like, you get checked in on like once every like 3 months. They don't know where the fuck you're at.
Yeah, right. It's like,
It's a money grab, dude. And so much of that shit is, and as I've discussed with lawyers and stuff like that, like so much of that stuff is scams, dude. DUIs, sorry, scam. It's a fucking scam, dude.
yeah.
It should be illegal, but also I'm a big advocate. I don't see any reason at all why I shouldn't be allowed to drink and drive as long as I'm not drunk. Like, it's always
as long as you're not gonna like run over people.
I think about this a lot because I do try not to run over people.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things I have on my to-do list.
Whenever you are drinking, those thoughts do come.
They
out.
come out. You're like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
cheat
That would be
day.
fun.
Oh, man. You know?
Listen, the bar's just let out. There's so many bowling pins walking around.
Well, that's what gets me is like,
I'm just gonna eat the crust. I'm sorry.
it's never
So go for it. Yeah.
it's never made sense to me that like you can drink like 4 beers at a bar, and as long as you're not over 0.08, you can hop in a car and drive. But if I were hypothetically in a completely alternate dimension that would never exist in this dimension, have a beer on the way to my gig, the first beer of the day in my cup holder, and drink 1 Natty Light on the way to Fells Point,
right.
that's like automatic. You're fucking done. But that other guy is like 4 beers deep and driving, but just because he doesn't have a can in the car, it's like that never made sense to me. There are a couple states where I don't know if it still exists, but I know there, at least up until recently, there were a couple states, and the ones you're thinking, Mississippi, Louisiana, the good states that are like, dude, look, if you're not fucked up, I'm not going to tell you can't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Right. It's like Britney Spears with her baby on her lap. Like,
Yeah, there's just certain things that like they totally like. I was driving. There's so many things, and it's like you can't do anything. This happened just last night. I was driving to I just took a trip to Boston, and I drove back, and I took the Jersey Turnpike up, and my Easy Pass is like, it exists, but I don't really have any money on it, and because it's impossible to log into the freaking thing. Like, I can't figure anything run by the government is the worst shit ever. I'm sorry. And that's the main thing that as you get older, you realize is like when you're younger, you're like, well, that would be easy if the government just did that. And then you do anything that has to do with the government. You're like, wait, no, this is way worse than it has to be. So I can't figure out how to replace the thing in my thing. But the good thing about that is in Maryland and normal cool states, you drive through the toll thing and you don't have your Easy Pass up, they'll just mail you the toll. Hey, buddy, here you go. Hit us with $6 when you get a chance. That's pretty chill. I do that in Jersey. I get told 2 times, $6 or $9 and then $16, both with extra $50 fines on top of them.
Oh my God.
Because they charge an automatic $50 administrative fee to if you go through the Easy Pass thing without the Easy Pass. And of course, I see this last night. I lost so much sleep last night because I was like 100. First of all, as I was mentioning before, not a great time financially, but also it's like principally, I was like, that is fucked up. And you can't do anything because they know that it's like, well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna sue the state of New Jersey over $100? You know how much?
Drive back up here.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do shit. So I'm Googling. I'm going on Reddit, which I'm only.
That's where I go for my problems.
Yeah, and
or my tarot cards.
It's a very spoken about thing. There's tons of accounts of this happening, and they're like, yeah, Jersey just does that. And apparently, there was a class action lawsuit that just recently, this past year, was decided. The judge sided on behalf of the Jersey Turnpike people. It was like, basically saying the lawsuit was saying like this is a ridiculous fee to charge for something like that, like $50 is completely unjustified. And the Jersey Turnpike was like, no, it's justified. We think it's justified. And the judge was like, all right, I guess they're right. $50 is okay. And that it slams the gavel and like that was good. And so, but everybody was saying like, just call up customer service and like do this. And so, you know, classic customer service, any story always goes, you call up one number and they're like, we're experiencing a high volume of calls. Please try again later. I'm like, okay, so
they did that to me on the domestic violence hotline.
Wow, really?
I swear to God, like I've been, yeah,
Playing
you did
like
like a good
fucking
voice.
Jingle Bell Rock. Like during the holiday seasons, we're experiencing a higher number of calls.
that weird like Donkey Kong 64 waiting music. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it was like elevator music, like yeah. But yeah, sorry, I just see, yeah, it's ridiculous, like with everything.
It's like, yeah, don't you think you should have a couple extra people at the call center in Glen Burnie, maybe? I don't know, especially Glen Burnie. You know, maybe staff it a little bit up. You know?
Yeah, yeah. My case and stuff is everything in Carroll County, so it's even more like fucking backwoods.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like Glen Burnie is like kind of wholesome John Waters, like white trash. It's like Carroll County is like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you call? Do you call? I mean, isn't 911 the domestic violence hotline? Don't you?
not up there. They'll blame you. It's like yeah.
Well, what did you?
But yeah. I didn't mean to like bring
Was the dinner cold? I don't know.
right. Exactly.
I mean, I'm looking. I don't see any
Listen,
steam
ma'am,
coming
you're
off.
sounding hysterical on the phone. Is this a prank?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, but yeah, up there it's like, yeah, and I lived in like the ghetto of like Carroll County, but it was still, you know,
They just
different
there's
world.
no, and this happened obviously during the unemployment with COVID and stuff, like, and that was at least understandable for like me of all people, I get pissed off easily about stupid shit like that. But even I at the time was like, all right, I get it. You just had this unprecedented shutdown. But you could go back in the podcast. Within 1.5 weeks, I was already screaming in the microphone about how it's ridiculous that they haven't figured it out, why you can't get in touch with anybody yet. It's like, just staff more fucking people.
Right,
Like,
right.
first of all, everyone lost their job.
Yeah,
And we don't have any unemployment benefits yet. So go and be like, hey, we're hiring fucking 10,000 temporary fucking agents or whatever to fucking lead you through the tell you how to fucking fill out the thing. Like, these are things that you would think would be step one. And that's what bugged me, was like, during that time, the glorious, amazing, flawless government decided to enact this thing 2 weeks after the pandemic hit. And then it took them 2 months to actually get the site up and running. It's like, why wouldn't you get the site up and running
Yeah.
and then fucking do this thing?
right.
You know, it's like everything's so fucking ass backwards. And I think it's on purpose. Like that turnpike shit. Look, I called them up today. I called up the first person and she was like, typical fucking just not giving me a time of day. And I'm like trying to crack jokes or whatever. Not really, because I'm kind of pissed, but I'm like, I'm a firm believer, the nicer you are, the more you get out of people. So I'm being cool and chill. And like, she's like, well, you have to read the back of the letter. I'm like, look, ma'am, I know what the letter says, but like, you know, when you're telling me I have to pay this $100-something thing by January 25th, and you're telling me that I don't hear back if my dispute was confirmed for another 2 weeks, it's like, then at that point it's going to be over. And then if it turns out it wasn't confirmed, now I'm getting charged with more fees and shit. So it's like, I'd rather just talk to somebody that can just be like, look, here's the situation. I can tell you right now, this is going to be approved. This isn't going to be approved, whatever. So no help from her. I call up the other line, blah, blah, blah. I find another service line. I'm on the hold thing for, no joke, hour 50 minutes.
Jesus.
I was just going about my day with the phone just in the background. We're experiencing a high volume of calls. Listen to this weird song in the meantime. It's like, damn, you guys can't even get a playlist going?
Right.
A playlist? How hard would that be, dude? If I knew I was putting motherfuckers on 2-hour waits, I would have at least
Like at least
2 songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like was this for like the Jersey Turnpike?
Yeah,
people?
well,
What did
actually,
they-
then it was Easy Pass. So I call them up, and look, this is both good and bad. This is the silver lining we love talking about. I called up and I told her the situation. I was like, look, I have an Easy Pass. I don't know what the hell happened. I was just like, I tried to scan it, it didn't work. I think I did try to scan it, just said invalid tag. And she was like, all right, well, just make sure there's money in your account now. I'm waiving the fees, and I'll just take the tolls out of the Easy Pass thing. And I was like, oh, really? That's easy.
Yeah, right.
But that
was easy.
That was easy.
Yeah. No, but then you get upset because it's like you wanted to get mad about it.
But here's the thing. I did get mad about it. Not at her. I was very appreciative of her.
Yeah.
But whenever that stuff happens, the way I look at it is, you motherfuckers tried to rip me off because you knew. That's how you know that it's a bullshit fee. Because
they can so easily just renege it.
if you're claiming, because this was the whole basis of their court case, they were like, no, it really does cost us $50 every time somebody
Every
goes
time
through.
we print one piece of paper and mail it out.
$50. It costs $50, and that was their whole justification. But then when I call up, oh yeah, sure, no problem. They're just banking on you not calling up.
Exactly.
They're just banking and be like, fuck. They're banking on you sitting on hold for 2 hours and going, fuck it, dude.
Fuck, it's $100.
It's $100. Then I'm never gonna get in touch with anybody. Luckily, I had the time, baby.
Yeah.
I had the time. I will sit on motherfucker.
Like-
I'd still be on hold right. We're doing this podcast with waiting music in the background.
Yeah.
I don't fucking give a
That's when
shit.
you know you're getting broke. It's
Yeah.
Just when you just
I will
hang
fucking
up,
sit on here.
it's like-
It's like that time when I got that when I went to Patient First and they charged me $600 for this shit, and then I called them. I was like, look, I didn't. $600. They told me it was gonna be like $100, and then like maybe the other company would charge me a little bit more. But when they say a little bit more, I didn't think they were gonna charge me another $500 on top of the $100 I paid them. They're like, all right, just give us $300. So they cut it in half. I was like, so what the fuck are you doing then?
Right.
It's all.
But you're
fucking-
right. It is an energy, just like with public service people in general. It's almost like a fucking comedy, or it's just or just for bunch of NPCs walking around.
Oh, it totally is. This whole system. I mean, every fucking red light camera is like that. Speeding cameras are fucking bullshit. Like all that stuff, and it's just so frustrating because you get hit with that shit, and you really have no recourse because you get hit, and there are fucking mathematicians sitting in there that are working out the exact amount you can charge somebody. The likelihood of them suing them is lower than the likelihood of them paying it.
Right.
That's the whole thing. And they're charging, and for every guy that's calling up and saying, hey, can you not charge me $100 for no reason? There's probably, most people are just like, fuck it. I got work. I make enough money. And that's the other thing, dude. It's like, you just took the light rail up here. I took the light rail from BWI. I had to be the only motherfucker on that thing that paid the $2. I know for a
I didn't pay
fucking-
my $2 today. I tried. Don't get me. Should we bleep this out? It's just like I tried.
Oh, yeah.
I tried.
The train's gonna run right in fucking here.
I put my card in. It wouldn't go through. I had $1. I would have given it to a homeless person. But yeah, I snuck on. I
No
hopped the train.
shortage.
It's like
It was
hobo life.
No, it's
hashtag.
crazy.
Yeah.
I've ridden the Amtrak train like 2 times this year. Like once up to New York, once up to Philly, and back both times.
So nice.
And dude, those tickets are expensive as fuck. And
Yeah.
I never got my ticket checked on either of those trips.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's like $150 ticket or
it's like a plane
whatever.
ticket.
And dude,
Yeah.
I literally could have just walked on. Like, there's no security. There's no one checking tickets. There's no one checking bags. Like, dude, it's so crazy.
It makes you that kind of shit turns people into criminals. Because it's like, then you get to this thing where it's like, look, dude, like kind of the same thing with taxes. It's like, look, dude, if I knew that my taxes were being spent efficiently and frivolously and every single dollar was being watched to make sure that it's actually getting put to good use, like if even charities, it's like if I knew that if I donate to some charity that's actually going to get to the fucking place instead of just getting to some fucking social media marketing person, getting caught up and then fucking 10% of it actually gets to the place, it's like I would be more likely to do these things. But because this shit is so fucked up, then it's like next time I'm getting on the Amtrak, I'm going to remember that and be like, I mean, I'm going to buy the ticket because it's not worth the embarrassment. That's literally,
exactly.
look,
Yeah.
the only thing that saves regular people.
I literally have no dignity left, so it's just like okay, it's fine.
It's
like
when
getting
dignity.
shit, like,
it's when
like-
dignity and fucking financial things.
Oh yeah,
meet.
but yeah, if I got caught today, like that would have been really bad because like I'm on probation, so it's like I would have just been like, trust me, it didn't go through.
Oh,
like,
can you imagine getting sent to jail for light rail hopping?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
That's
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, I mean the
derail
light.
that.
Look, at the end of the day, it's like I've been doing a lot of traveling recently. When I say traveling, I mean like within the East Coast, And I'm seeing all these other cities, and and whenever I just get like culture shocked when I come back to Baltimore, because it's like when I'm looking at the light rail, and like I was saying, I've never known anybody. I grew up here my entire life. I lived here my entire life, and I've never known anyone to take the light rail to and from the airport. It's just never been a thing. Like my friend Scott said, I tweeted about it, and my friend Scott said he did it once, but it's like, I mean, in theory, this should be the most convenient thing ever. I mean, instead of driving 45 minutes to the airport in rush hour, you just hop on a fucking train.
If you're like me though, I still get bullied by like the urban teenagers.
But that's what I'm saying.
On the train, and
you can't. It's like that's the thing. It's like I get on the thing and I'm like, oh, this is why nobody takes the. I'm sitting next to a guy who's just like. It's the light rail. The light rail.
That's why I fucking love it.
The light rail is a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it.
For
the
sure.
light rail is a homeless shelter.
If you're not on the train going to an Orioles game, like you see some of the weirdest shit on the light rail.
Also, conveniently, the only time they actually make you pay for a ticket.
Yeah, no, that's the only time they check tickets on the light rail.
Yeah. and it feels like an adventure, like a I don't know, microdosing.
Yeah, a true dream.
Yeah.
No, I got off my plane, of course, like, you know, everybody knows about the Southwest thing. Everybody's talking about that. And actually, my girlfriend was trying to book tickets for a couple weeks from now. She's like, oh, the only one left is like a Southwest. And I was like, if anything, I would be more confident that Southwest is going to be perfect from now on, because they lost their fucking ass.
Right.
Like,
What
they
even
fucked
happened
up.
with the Southwest?
Apparently,
like, I didn't even see any of that shit.
Somebody Alex's coworker Shelly tried to explain it to me. Marissa were like, they were woman-splaining it to me. I was like, all right, guys, I got it under control. And I was like, they were like, well, basically, so they have like hubs where like if you're going from one place to another, they all the planes have like a central hub. And so basically, if one flight is delayed over here and doesn't get there, then it fucks up like 16 other flights. And so they had this like compounding over the holiday weekend where like a plane didn't make it here, which delayed this one, which then delayed this one. And it was like this like domino effect of basically everything getting canceled.
Yeah,
I believe that.
And then of course that bleeds over into other airlines.
Then there's also like winter storms and stuff backing shit up, and
I'm not gonna blame Southwest. I mean, it's funny. I you know, Spirit and fucking Frontier sitting there like,
yeah, Alaskan Airlines.
yeah,
Right.
like, yeah, Southwest, you unreliable pieces of shit.
I wish I knew the name of the comic, but the comic I saw at the port, he said that they should call Spirit like Airbus. Like, that's the vibe. I'm like, yeah.
One of the greatest jokes I heard was actually on the band memes page, and because everybody was like disappointed that their Southwest flights were canceled, and it said, Spirit ticket holders disappointed that their flights weren't canceled.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I mean, for me, like the last like travel experience that I had outside the state was probably on a megabus. And that is when you can like pay literally to like midwife like a woman's baby.
Oh,
Like,
really?
next to you. It's just
Yeah,
like
megabuses,
no,
yeah.
not really. But it's like, but yeah,
You'll meet a guy who like just got out of jail. He's like, I'm trying to find my girlfriend. She moved to Vegas.
Yeah, I'm
so
like, I can be her now.
I'm just heading there.
Yeah, you're just existing in a folk song from 1965.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was born in a Greyhound bus. What the hell am I, dude?
Yeah,
Is that CCR?
Someone has their whole ass foot out getting a massage.
That's creepy, dude. Yeah, but my flight was delayed, and I got back to the airport at 3 a.m. when I was supposed to get back to the airport at 11. And one of my big pet peeves is when people try to cheap out on tickets and then it winds up inconveniencing everyone else. Like people will be like, yo, can you take me to the airport at 4 a.m.? And I'm like, I mean, I'll do it, but like, if you would have spent 20 more bucks, you could have had a normal time and I wouldn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to fucking take you to the airport. Like, you know, you're costing me basically my sleep cycle for the next week, because I'm never going to get that back on track.
For sure.
I'm still fucked up from that fucking overnighter. I'm like, I slept until fucking noon today. And that's a good day for the past 3 days. And like, it fucks me up. So like, I get off and I was like, I'm not going to ask my brother to pick me up. I asked him to pick me up at midnight. That's whatever. That's like, I figure anything past midnight, he works at like 8 in the morning. I was like, anything past that, I'm breaking the
Bro code.
I'm breaking bro code. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just take an Uber. Get back. Uber's $100 at 3 in the morning from the airport.
Oh my god.
Not exact. Not 99. $100.65 for Uber. Lyft was 102. Like it was like. So I was like, fuck it. And then
Fuck? Wait, what time did you get in?
3 a.m.
Right, you could have just called me.
I'm sure I could have, but I didn't have it in me. And also, I had this morbid curiosity I was like, look, this is maybe one of the few times in my life I'll ever truly get the chance justifiably to take the light rail home from the airport. It's just a thing that's existed, like Eric was saying. I've only ever done
I'm
it.
surprised it runs that late.
Yeah, me too.
It went back. It starts back up at 5 a.m. So I had to wait
you had
at
to
the airport.
chill.
I had to wait at the airport for 2 hours. And of course, like I said, the light rail is a homeless shelter. So all the homeless people that were riding the light rail are just all chilling in the airport now, sleeping on benches. So I then have to find my bench. And now I'm just a homeless person now for the next 2 hours sitting there. And like what was weird is like I noticed the airport security was looking specifically at me. Like I was like, dude, if you motherfuckers say something to me, what about that guy?
Yeah, all of them are regulars. He's like, what are you fucking new?
Yeah, you come here often. Leave me alone, dude. I'm the only motherfucker who paid a ticket on this goddamn thing. Leave me alone. I paid my $2. No, it was, and it was just so sketchy. And then of course, you know, in classic Baltimore fashion, you're taking the train up. You're going through. It was nice. I'd never been past Camden Yards on the light rail from the north. I've taken it down to the games. I've never really had any reason to ever really step foot in West Baltimore ever. It's kind of weird. Like this entire section, I've just never really had any reason. We went there once for to film that video that we never wound up filming with that one guy. So we were there for a bit, and I was like, I'm looking. There's like no gigs over there. There's no fucking. I don't know what the fuck is over there. You know, I've been to like West Baltimore County, like Catonsville, but not in the fucking. So I was like, oh, this is Cherry Hill. Oh, this is fucking, you know, whatever, Westport, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. And then you get to downtown and you're like, okay, shit. Okay, now we're working, now we're talking, you know?
Yeah.
But it was just an eye-opening. It was just.
Yeah. And again, it's like, I guess I feel like I'm betwixt worlds because I'm like, like my family's in Brooklyn Park right now. Like we're kind of like in the White Hood, I guess you would call it. But it's, and I mean, I'm on.
That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
The White Hood.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not on food stamps right now because I don't have the concentration to fill out the form.
Oh, yeah.
That's where my life is at right now. Like, I got to get my shit straight out. So, yeah, it's like...
Maybe your next studio session, we'll just book it for filling out food stamps.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like, yeah, I've always wanted to do like a dirty jobs, except with me and my neurotypical, like, I can't do shit that like other people can. It's like every single job that I try to take just ends in disaster. And I really do try.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let's, your show, Info Warlocks. I love that name. I think it's great. I like Alex Jones. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Conspiracies. Homelessness. Scam?
Is homelessness a scam?
Not is every homeless person.
I thought you were going to be like conspiracies, homeless people. Why are they so intertwined? Why are so many homeless people big conspiracy nuts?
Well, that's also true. That's a whole other conspiracy. But you're looking at this shit and it's like there is like I'm watching these like documentaries and stuff talking about different areas and like public housing and things like that, and like all these government contracts and all these people that make so much fucking money off of there being homeless people. Like when you see,
but don't worry, they're non-profits.
Yes, exactly. I forgot. You're right. I forgot about that. They don't make any profit.
That. Well, the company doesn't make any profit. All the people that work in the company, they have to suck it all up, so then they get the money.
Exactly. How could I forget? Next topic. I mean,
next topic.
We covered that.
It's not even a conspiracy.
No, it's insane. You're like looking.
Barks.
You're looking at all these Barks is another one, dude. Like they're getting paid per fucking, and this is how a lot of that shit works. Even with, COVID is a softer subject now. We can talk, even with when hospitals were getting a certain amount per COVID death and stuff like that, you look at that, you look at people getting a certain amount for homeless people. Like people are like, these companies are literally getting paid per fucking wrapped sandwich lunch bag they hand out. It's like, if you can't look at the way the system is set up and immediately gear your head towards, well, if they're basically incentivizing the more homeless people, the more money these people make. And so there's no incentive for them to actually cut back on homelessness. That's like a fucking pizza place telling people to go vegan.
Right.
It's counter to your business model. Yeah. And so you're looking at these cities and like you're seeing Baltimore and it's like, dude, there's no fucking way. Well, guys, that Maria Sanchez finally got the...
Are you here? Can you come in for a sec?
So you're thinking that homeless people, they're a myth?
I think
You think that homeless people are a figment of our collective imagination?
I think that in a lot of ways, there's advantage being taken of the drug epidemic and lack of employment.
It's almost like the same thing with prescription medication, right? Like the big medical companies, they're not making cures for shit.
Yeah.
They're finding ways to prolong people.
Yeah.
They're not going to solve diabetes. They're going to be like, no, we're going to make you do a monthly subscription for insulin.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's never going to get any better than that, because why would we make a cure if that's not going to help our bottom line?
Yeah. And it seems to be like this weird deadlock where it's like, I mean, I watched another video. I actually want to get this guy on the podcast because I think he's local, but I just stumbled across him on YouTube. He's something Moreno or something. And he's like this real estate investor in Baltimore. And he was talking about like, why doesn't the city just demolish all the vacant houses and do this, that, the other thing? And like, it was a whole bunch of like intertwined shit of like fucking, like obviously the gentrification thing comes into play and stuff. Hey, what's up, Maria?
Hey,
that microphone is yours, by the way.
Speaking of gentrification, Maria's here.
Yes. We are getting reverse gentrified on this podcast right now. I can't believe it.
Hell yeah.
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 There you go. You can pop them headphones on too. Let me fix the camera so you're both on it. Look at that.
1, 2. Oh, 1, 2.
Perfect.
And this works great too, because now we don't have to have another woman on the podcast for like another 3 years.
Exactly.
So you killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly.
You got the gays, the blacks.
Don't come at me, Baltimore comedy scene. I'm good. Don't say shit to me.
First episode of the new year. Wow.
Wow.
Turned a new leaf.
Only going downhill from here.
Now we can finally just have white men for the rest of the year.
Oh, thank God.
Finally.
So what are you guys on your way to the Wits End?
Nah, we going to the port.
Oh, shit.
That's the baby.
Okay.
That's the new baby in Baltimore.
Yeah, the port is sick. Matt Hurley's been on in here a couple times. He's pretty cool. I like him.
Yeah.
So what's the show going on?
I think you got a show tonight, right?
Yeah.
8:30.
Oh, shit.
It's not even like... I'm mad that Adam Friesen is...
Oh shit!
He on the cover.
He's on it?
Yeah.
I thought,
Flyer is Adam Friesen doing stand-up.
wait, what? Isn't it your show, though?
No.
Is it not a She More Funny show?
No, that's the 19th.
Ah, okay.
Tonight is just...
Can I have a cigarette? I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like a regular showcase?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
You got a lighter, Maria.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. No,
know
I'm
who
gonna
the
keep
hell
my
Adam
mouth shut.
Friesen
Yeah, who's Adam Friesen? All I know is why the fuck is he on the cover? That's what I want to know.
Right. it's like-
If I don't know who he is.
Who just got on the light rail for the first time?
Not for the first time, but I was talking about how I took it from the airport for the first time. I've always taken it, as a guy who grew up in Towson, I've only ever taken it to baseball and football games.
Right. I'm
downtown.
just saying there's a difference between county people and stuff. That's
Hold
all.
on.
It's just like,
Did they ever check your ticket?
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely.
But I thought they would have checked mine. I thought they would have seen me and be like, you motherfucker, let me see it.
no.
They checked. Let me tell you. They checked from Cherry Hill to maybe Howard Street.
Oh, really?
When all the black people get on. That's the only time they check.
Oh, really?
I was going to
But-
say, I feel like they only check during baseball games. Because I
No.
feel like that's easy pickings.
You got checked before?
Oh, I've gotten checked before. I was saying though,
It was a lady.
I've been to Philly and New York on the Amtrak this year, and those are like expensive tickets.
Yeah.
And I never got checked once.
Wow.
I was pissed.
Yeah, we had a reverse theory. I thought that they were only checking for county people because they were like, you fucking suckers are about to pay for
I
it
still
too.
got outstanding warrants for the light.
Really?
rail.
You can get warrants for light rail?
Damn, what the
They,
fuck?
they,
For a $2
they
ticket?
give you a habeas corpus.
What the
They're
fuck?
That Abraham Lincoln shit? they fucking Abe Lincoln
They
your ass?
will take your body. Yeah, habeas
The
corpus.
fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, my brother.
Damn.
He got busted on the light rail, no ticket. Had to go to
Busted.
court. Didn't go to court. A warrant.
Well, that makes sense. The not going to court and getting a warrant. I thought you got a warrant from not paying a $2 ticket on the light rail. I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
That's like a civil lawsuit, not a.
No, it all stemmed from not paying the ticket on
That's
the light rail.
fucking so shitty.
Holy shit. And so now, like, if he gets arrested, do they put him in MTA jail?
Human
Maryland
trafficking,
transportation?
No, I think he cannot ride the bus anymore.
He's still good on the light rail, though. You can still ride the light rail, but if we catch you without a ticket, you can't ride the bus.
Only do Ubers from now on.
That part is I'm too special for the bus. Like when I'm on the light rail by myself, like I miss the stops and then I always have to like get off at the wrong train. And
The bus is tough. I used to take the bus a lot when I was younger.
Yeah,
But they changed up the lines now. I don't fucking.
Right, and you can't be thinking about stuff that happened like in third grade.
No,
or-
they only changed the black lines.
Oh, really?
All the black lines are colored. I'm not lying.
They made it colors instead of numbers.
Yeah,
What the
pink,
fuck?
brown.
Yeah, the red line, or is I'm thinking different red line for Baltimore.
No, the red line is they never even built that one.
Yeah, that's been around
That
since
was
the
for the
60s.
light
The red
rail.
line, right?
Yeah.
No, the fucking I know the one that I used to take the number 8. That was my bus back in the day.
This is such an
Yeah,
autistic conversation.
That's Towson.
That's Towson, baby.
That's thousand.
I was like,
took 8
let me on the
everything.
number 8, please. I'm sitting in the thing.
They made a limousine out the 8. They had double 8s.
I'm pulling curtains
like
over.
triple longs.
Fucking look like I'm on a Harry Potter train. Just sitting there, Dumbledore.
You're in the quiet car.
Take me to the Senator Theater. Immediately.
Oh, you were coming from the other way.
Yeah. No, the 8 going up, it suddenly shifted. All of a sudden- The other 8.
The other 8.
Oh, you must be talking about the other
When
8.
you get past Northern Parkway 8. You got one little stop, and that's the Senator Theater.
Yeah, that was where-
After that, it's Methodian world.
Methodian.
Methodian.
New religion is that?
Sounds
Methodian.
like Eastern European.
Macedonia.
That's they ex fentanyl heroin users.
Yeah, the methadone clinic stuff.
Yeah, they Methodians.
Now, what about the subway? You taken the subway on the west side ever?
Yes.
Is that worse than the light rail? Or better?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes. The subway, I remember
I forget Baltimore even has a subway.
when the
Yeah.
subway first
Dropped?
dropped. It was so clean. You can lick the floor. But now now it's like a weed shop. They sell oils.
That sounds fucking incredible.
You can
That sounds
get
pretty cool.
loose cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all things I wish were on the light
But
rail.
it's still not New York subway.
right.
You're saying New York subway's worse?
Way worse.
Really? See,
Really? I kind of like the subway in New York.
I think what it is because I'm from around here, and so I'm more familiar with like when you go to a different city. Because I was up in New York recently, and I took the subway a lot. I guess I probably didn't take it anywhere that would. I'm in Manhattan, going back and forth to Brooklyn and stuff like that. You know, eight bus shit. You know, 8 bus shit.
Right.
But like, because I'm not familiar with the areas, I'm not as aware of my surroundings and stuff like that. So I don't really
true.
like. I can be in Baltimore and like see a guy. I'm like, I know this type of guy. I immediately know this type of guy. But in New York, they're different types of guys. You know, I don't know which guys to watch out for in New York.
Yeah,
know?
me, it's
All
everybody.
of them.
Yeah.
The Dominicans.
Especially the guys.
The guy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like me brushing my elbow up against somebody at the Ruby Tuesday salad bar. That's
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like my anxiety.
New York.
That triggers
New
a threat
York
response.
is like toxic masculinity at its best.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, and LA
Manhattan.
is
Ooh.
femininity. And it's like a big gay New York. I'm
Yeah.
not lying.
LA is a big gay New York.
It is.
With a little bit of Satanism thrown in.
Well, LA doesn't have any of that shit. Like LA, they don't have a subway, do they? They got the 405. I feel like if you don't have a car in LA, you're kind of
LA
fucked a little bit.
does have a subway.
Do
but
they?
It's like really bad too.
What?
Yeah.
Why would they have a subway? All the earthquakes.
They weren't
Yeah, that's
thinking
true
about it
too.
like that.
That's true.
Human sacrifice. Sorry,
That's
the wrong podcast.
The thing I don't like about the Baltimore system is that it doesn't connect. It's like you can take. It's like this train
Yeah,
takes
do you
you
want
to
to
the,
go to North Ave or do you want to go to
Yeah.
like Baltimore Street?
Yeah, it's like they just take you. They're like, all right, we'll drop you off in the middle of nowhere here, and then you have to get to the other train station. Like in New York, I'm envious because it's like it all. You can be in like a part of the city and just be like, I'm gonna take the Q to the 9 to the 12 to the A to the blue, and you're like, all right, baby, I'm fucking where I'm at. You know? Light rail's like, I'm gonna take it down to this stop. I'm gonna get transferred over to another train. They're gonna take me to this other stop. I'm gonna take a bus to the subway. I'm gonna take a subway back to my car and just fucking drive there because it's like too fucking much.
Right.
When you're there, do you feel comfortable driving or do you prefer like the public transportation?
I walk.
Oh yeah.
I drive, park, and walk.
Well, New York is like, it's not a, you can't drive in New York. I don't even think I can drive in New York. I don't know the rules.
Yeah, I drove, but usually Brooklyn or something, not Manhattan. I wouldn't drive in Manhattan.
I just want to go back to New York so bad to see where my mom grew up because she grew up in Flushing, like when it was like super Jewy. And I know it's Chinese and stuff now, but just to see like where she came up from, because like New York in the 70s, that was like Gotham.
That's like, yeah, that's like fucking like the mythos around New York in the 70s. That's like peak. I don't know. Like I like New York, dude. I would even go as far as to say I heart New York.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Is that
I
a
like
thing
New
anybody's
York.
thought of before?
Dude, she's performing at the Apollo, by the way. I'm sorry, I don't
Are you
mean to like,
serious?
embarrass you and
Oh,
stuff, but
hell
that's like
yeah.
fucking incredible.
March the
like,
2nd.
It's like,
Oh shit.
like
Don't
Is
get-
Adam
it's
Friesman
like-
on the cover?
Don't get
What's
the
going on?
Sandman out there.
No, it's not going
Live
to
at
be
the
that type
Apollo.
of show. It's not.
Adam Friesman. Gotta get him.
You're going to be so excited about this podcast.
Sick. You told me those
Oh, shit.
camel
Okay.
crushes, please.
Yeah.
Said, oh shit, like you were worried. Nah, big
Oh
deal.
no. It's, and again, I don't even think he knows my name. It's just I don't know why there's still that little part of my brain that is like, oh no, I don't want people to but that's the thing I used to love
Nobody
about
listens to this shit. Don't
Right,
worry.
exactly. It's like but if we say his name is on there, he's gonna be like, oh okay. Yeah.
But this is what I'm going to do. This is my New Year's comedic resolution.
Okay.
When I get off the stage, I'm going to act like all those other guys who bomb all the time. But they just still in the face of the crowd and like they did a wonderful job. And you know how we just cower to the side and shyness. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start doing. Hey, did you enjoy my set? Watch. Y'all gonna be like, Maria need this dude. Because those guys who bomb need to know, like, this is the year.
Yeah.
Like, bro, how did you do? What happened?
Well, the Apollo is famous for letting you know when you fuck up, right? They don't.
Yeah, this is gonna be a show though. Bob
Okay,
Sumner.
so it's not.
Yeah,
what do they
it's-
call that? Open mic at the Apollo or something? What was the one where they bring
No,
people on and
no,
they get booed off?
no, it's
throwing
not
tomatoes at and
Showtime at the Apollo.
Okay.
Kiki Shepard. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be that one. It's gonna be more of a show.
That's
Okay.
freaking
I think
Hell yeah.
Marshall Brandon
Marshall Brandon. Nice.
is gonna be on there.
Oh, can I get that lighter too,
Oh
please?
yeah. I'm saying.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, it's like when I say like one of the best tests at doing like the Comedy Factory recently was just like Alabama made me go out in the alley or the lobby, not the fucking alley, in the lobby and like smile at people's face and be like, "Thank you guys for coming out. Come again." Like, "Thank you guys." Like
really?
after I ate it like on stage. And you know what? Like it was actually I didn't mind. I didn't feel like a fucking sellout. It was actually just like, you know, I'm like, yeah, like they paid money to be here and
A lot of
you know,
times, if you own it, and this is an old musician's trick, they call it repetition. I don't know the fucking saying. The point is
He
that
sounded so
That's why-
smart just now. I was like,
Maybe that's why it's not
just
working.
the looks. It's not just the looks. He's smart.
somebody like this sage again, please. Fucking spirits taking my thoughts right now. Repetition breeds something. It's basically repetition legitimizes. That's what it is. I'm gonna edit out that part. I sounded dumb.
I like that.
Yeah. So basically, like in jazz, or if you're freestyling, you're just jamming. You hit a note that's wrong, and people are like, and then you're like, wow, and people are like, oh, he meant to do that, huh? And then you're like, yeah,
Keep doing it.
wow. People are like, oh, where's he going now? And you're like,
Jimi Hendrix.
Did he just reinvent how to play guitar? Like that's you can change
Right.
it up. So like if you get on stage and then you bomb and you act like you bombed, then you really bombed. If you get on stage and bomb and you get off the stage and you're like, hey, come again. That was good, wasn't it? People are like, I guess.
Wow, I guess I didn't get it.
Well, maybe
Wow,
it's
it
my
went over
fault.
my head, I guess.
Maybe I'm not seeing what I just saw.
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly true.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, but yeah, like this one dude who sat there totally stone faced the whole time. Like he smiled and he was like, "Great job." So it's like
The problem is you kind of have to be a psychopath to do that.
No, see, the thing is, and I'll say it time and time again, black people are like, make me laugh.
right.
White people come to laugh.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You want some of this, by the way?
I don't drink, bro.
Oh, okay.
But
She's California,
So-
so
Sam had him. But Sam was in a position where as though you got to throw away the set and just go
right,
with
and
the
I
flow.
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the jazz
Because we
horses.
so it mainstream stick to the set. But sometimes the set don't work
exactly
Yeah.
right
because you've
right.
never been in that environment. So sometimes you just gotta go with that side. Remember the sidebar? How you just freestyle.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
gotta freestyle. Cause like you can at a certain point you can be like, all right, the crowd is like there's a separation between me and the crowd right now because of these jokes. I need to bridge that separation by just like acknowledging it. Or
Yeah.
bringing something. I need to like create something here that they can see. Oh my God, we all were here for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, wow.
And then what Dave Butler was saying, when you write jokes, when you write like Sam does,
Autistically.
no, when you come straight punchline, double entendres, then another joke like that, they not gonna be fooled. So you gotta
Yeah,
switch
you
it
already have
from
the
a
formula.
story to the, you know what I'm saying? Like Dave Butler say, oh, he come out, he saying, my mom passed her driving test. But if he come out again with the next joke and say,
My dad passed
right,
away.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. He does something like more. Yeah.
right, so
motivational.
that's it. Sometimes material is not that it doesn't work. It's not set up yet
Yeah.
for them to receive it.
So
you
where
got-
was this legendary bombing I'm hearing about? Where'd you
It was like a cleansing. Like
She
it
got
was like
bombed.
Chernobyl. Like
as a result of another person?
oh no. Yeah, I don't want to do. I don't want to do. That.
where
I'm not
was it
blaming
and
it
who
all on
was it?
them.
I need the where, what, who, why, where, and how.
Alright.
Yes, you don't
And
have to
again,
tell
this
us,
dude
Sam.
was killing better than me some sets. It's like it depends on the atmosphere.
No, this is what happened. What he did, he said to a black audience, I'm gonna be funny. Give me 2 more minutes. And they said, boo! Then, after that transition, the host at that point should have been like, hey guys, they knew. Da, 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 da. For
Yeah.
one, they was all lambs to the slaughter.
Yeah,
Because
definitely. I
TK
realize that.
Kirkland does not allow at the Baltimore Comedy Factory.
Okay, so
because
this is the comedy factor. This is what
yeah,
I was trying to
at
get
the
at.
Baltimore Comedy Factory, TK Kirkland only wants white, clean headliners.
Because he said he wants
Really?
to make white people suffer.
Wow. I always thought of the comedy factory as the black room. Is that not true?
Yes.
It is true. But he
Oh
but
yeah,
he
it hasn't always been though. There's always
so he it's a black room, but he only books clean white headliners.
Yep.
Brian
Just-
Regan headlining for
just for that
Or
headliner.
Mark?
no, for openers, I guess, right?
Because
Okay.
it's like he couldn't
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
sharing the stage with somebody like Maria who fucking kills and who's
Right.
speaking to people.
He wouldn't
more-
want. He doesn't want any more Baltimore comedians like Urban on his shows at the Baltimore Comedy Factory.
God.
Dave
So now they
Butler
came
was
up with
the
an
last
arch
person.
nemesis. I'm sorry. I was saying
So
like he came
now-
up with like Voldemort.
Right.
Like,
That's why I was rooting for Sam.
I
so
wasn't right
hard.
though, but it taught me a lot, and I think actually for the last set I actually learned a lot, and it's like that's why I want to do that consistently, and I mean And it did. It felt like walking through like sacred fire. It was fucking awesome.
So this was the comedian that didn't want any other urban comedians in the lineup. I thought you were saying the
not the
club
factory.
owner.
No,
Okay.
no.
No.
But Maria, and she's like, now you have like a villain arch nemesis.
That
story
is-
where
that
it's like
is-
you can book him like years later on.
Look,
Like-
that is one of the
That is-
all-time shitty. I don't know this guy.
TK Kirkland.
Okay. So I don't know TK.
And let me say, fucking my girl Heidi Sandberg killed it.
Okay, Heidi.
But I was like so proud of her. It's
As a
like,
general rule, not to be aimed at anyone, not to speak ill of the people I don't know, but as a general rule, that is the most like it's. I'm thinking of 3 words: gatekeepy, pussyish, and just fucking like counterproductive. Because on one end, it's like, okay, so in order for you to shine, you're gonna book people that you know aren't gonna do well, and then, but that ruins the whole show. So now,
Right, exactly.
So like, instead of going up and coasting on a wave and people are having a good time, now you're just making people sit through not bad comedians, but just comedians that don't work for the room. You know, I play
Right,
music for a
right.
living, and if I walked into certain places and started playing fucking Matchbox 20, it's like, hey, dude, you're just not the guy for the room, bro. You know, it's just, this isn't your room. You know, it doesn't mean you suck.
But that made me want to work harder though
And
to be a
then
type
you
of
hinder
comedian.
them more
Yeah.
and say clean set.
Yeah.
When
That's
you
the
got
weirdest
a
thing, like-
crowd that's waiting.
But this
for-
girl
And is he
is
clean?
sticking-
No.
No,
Wow.
he's filthy. Yeah.
Wow.
There's
that-
like the last like not the last generation, but like older comedians, like
Yeah.
you know, rest in peace Gilbert Gottfried. But I heard that anytime he opened anywhere, he would request clean opening acts, even though his act was, you know, so filthy. I think his reasoning was like, you know, I don't want them to take all the punches out of everything. It's a bigger contrast if everyone up front is clean, and then all of
Yeah,
a sudden I
right.
come out and say fuck,
Right.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, exactly.
But you know, in the same regard or whatever.
If he had it requested like white, I think if he just requested clean, the white part is just like
Yeah.
you don't
Right,
want
I
something
guess
to
so.
compete with you on your level, like with this guy.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that's definitely a little weirder.
It's reminiscent of a lot of times you'll get people booking like music shows and they're just worried about filling the room and they don't really put much effort into like, does this lineup make sense? Like, does this guy who's playing this type of music line up with this guy who's playing a complete opposite? And it's like, they're just worried about selling tickets. And then what they don't realize is in the long term, that's a failing business model.
exactly.
Because you can't build a career off of like, well, I'm just going to stock up a bunch of shows that aren't great and then just try to make as much money in the short term as possible, because then people go like, I'm not going to another one of those shows because it kind of sucked all the way up to the end. And then
But
by
actually,
time,
he made it sound a lot of fun though when he went up there and he's like, "I just want to make white people suffer." Like even I was chuckling.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
that's
just
like-
but I think they got.
But at the end of the day,
but yeah,
at the end of the day,
is he a local guy?
no.
Okay, then I feel less shitty about saying
at
it.
the
too.
end
Yeah.
of the day, it is like fucked up.
It is fucked up.
For one, what white comedian took you on the road?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's not my club, but I think if you're a club in Baltimore, you should have a rotating cycle of those local comedians.
I agree.
There's
At
no,
least the good ones.
right?
Yeah, the good ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should have a rotating cycle.
Yeah, because
So
you should be trying to get like your crop of local comics
because when you can't
introduced to the
afford
next level,
those
and then
nat-
hopefully they'll come back if they ever
Yeah,
get big.
But when you
know?
can't afford those national headliners, you can throw a nice show with local comedians to balance out those times.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like how you truly like build like a scene like in somewhere. It's like
So I'm now finding out that this guy's not local, and like I said, it makes me feel less shitty about saying the things I said, because I was like, I don't want this
Oh,
guy
no,
want to
but
be my
I'm so
next door
grateful.
neighbor.
But wait,
He's like sitting there next door, like pussy-ish.
Hold up.
You said pussy-ish?
But no, when you make it, when we make it, and we national headliners, who do we want on our show?
Dirty, fucking, I don't know.
Just someone who's funny.
Just fucking.
Someone who's funny, right? So you could just ride the wave.
Right. I'm
Or
hoping to
I
be
just-
somebody's
I
writer.
want to like make if I was headlining a show, I'd want the people who came and paid ticket money to have a fun show from beginning to the end. You know,
If I'm a national headliner, the first thing I'm gonna do when I go to a city, who is the number one person in this city?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'll say, who's a drawer?
Yeah.
Right. And I'll get that number one person, and then I'll get the drawer and someone else.
Boom.
That's it.
That should be the mentality, and that's the mentality of somebody who's confident in their abilities. If you go around trying to make it in the industry, you're constantly protecting your own place because you're not confident that you're that much better. Like if your whole way of performing is being like, well, I can only stand out if I dumb down the competition, then it's like, well, it's like at that point, it's like, look, Ace Matthews, shout out Ace Matthews. She was on the podcast a long time ago. I follow her on Twitter. I gotta get her back on. She was cool.
I think she lives in like Georgia now.
Ah, damn. Well, whatever. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll
fly her in
Yeah.
to the studio.
Light railer.
We'll light rail her. Get her that $2 ticket and a warrant.
Habeas corpus.
No, but she and this is a common thing, but the first time I had heard it explained with the crabs in the bucket mentality, which is the theory that like, you know, when crabs, this is awfully relevant for Baltimore, of course, and like you get the crabs in the bucket and they're all trying to get out, but they're all clawed onto each other trying to make it to the top, but inadvertently they lock each other in and nobody can get out, when if they all just let things happen, they'd all get out, but instead none of them get out. They all get steamed in the end. They all get eaten.
Yeah.
So it's like that weird mentality of, and I don't know if it's a exclusively Baltimore thing. I imagine this thing goes everywhere. It's human nature.
Every scene.
But I think because of Baltimore's relatively small size compared to a scene like New York and LA, it's much more apparent in your face, and it seems like there's less room at the top. Like in New York, you can have 10 big time guys. LA, you can have. In Baltimore, it almost feels like, I feel like everybody kind of low key has this mentality. It's like there's only room for like 2 motherfuckers to make it out of here, and I got to be in that top 2 or top 1, or
I was
else.
talking about that. I was just talking about that, and it's all over. It's like pass the baton. How many every vet knows why they didn't make it. You know why you didn't make it. So why don't you reach down to somebody you know gonna make it,
Right.
and give them the jewels, the gems, even with like Instagram followings, right? I'm like, yo, you got 100-something thousand followers.
Yeah.
You travel from state to state. Wouldn't it be valuable to you to build up a team through that Instagram following? Like, bring them on your Instagram. Follow these people. So when we go state to state to state, it just won't be me selling tickets.
Yeah, and then you inadvertently you wind up propping everybody. You wind up propping yourself up too. Because the thing about comedy is the main difference. You know, I'm 30 now, and with music, it's a different timeline. It's like with music, I feel like the window is shorter. You know, but then I say this all the time on the podcast, nothing new. But with comedians, it's like you look at the top people in the game right now. They're like in their 50s. I mean, like the number. I mean, obviously you have like the Theo Vons, the Tim Dillons, and people on that level. But I'm talking about like the GOAT level, like fucking Chappelle, like Burr, Louis C.K., rest in peace. You know, like that kind of shit. Like those guys are in their 50s and they are the more relevant than they've ever been. Yeah. So the timeline for comedy is like you can be in your 40s and be like, it doesn't have to be this why didn't I make it thing. It's like, dude, like I could still, you know, you can still do shit like that. So it's like, I don't know why I'm staring at you when I'm saying this. Sorry.
But no. And I also realized you can be a comedian. Nobody knows you. Nobody really knows you. But you can make $1 million a year. Just on the chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
That's what Don DC Carey. When I did a show with him, he's like, I'm not going to Hollywood. He's like, Hollywood only want dick and drugs. So he said, I will be here and make my money. Now, how rich do you want to be?
Right.
Well, you selling your soul.
Exactly.
And oftentimes people get caught up in the idea that fame equals money, and a lot of times it doesn't. I mean, like you look at like going back to music, there's so many bands that like you'll watch these documentaries on, like, I'll bring it up to our generation with like the Backstreet Boys, for instance. Like you watch a documentary on them and NSYNC and shit. I think they had the same manager, and like those guys were like the top acts in the world, and then they're talking about getting a check for like $10,000 at the end of a year. And it's like, what happens is, you can get fame when you let somebody else when you sell yourself and you allow somebody else to be like, I own you now. I'm going to get you in all these clubs. I'm going to get your record sold, but you're not going to see any, like, versus a guy who's much, much smaller level, but is booking his own shit, touring around the country, selling out 1,000-seater shows. No, people might know him. Most people don't. They're not a household name, but they might arguably be making more money in a lot of cases than somebody who's selling out Madison Square. I mean, not Madison Square, but you get what I'm saying. Like a bigger venue. Yeah.
Because when you do that, then you got to pay this person. You got to pay that person. You got to pay this person.
And you're getting paid. Like you're getting paid by someone else who's telling you how much you make. Like, okay, well, here's your check for that. Here's that. As opposed to being the guy who gets the check and goes, all right, I'll pay my roadies this much. And now I know how much money I'm making and shit like that. And that business model is old school, and I think that's might be one of the reasons why a lot of the older head comedians are still locked into that, because people undervalue this is a great time, obviously, with social media and stuff, that you can do it on your own, and there's never been a better time. So the amount of people that are just fucking getting big on TikTok. And then I was walking through Miami Beach this weekend, and this bar is packed. And I'm walking down the street and I just hear them like, give it up for TikTok sensation, blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking know their names, but like people are going nuts for this dude who just like has like viral TikToks. It's like, he doesn't have a fucking comedy act or anything, but he's famous and packing out places just as an appearance type of thing. And it's like, dude, if you can do that, imagine with talent.
That's crazy. Because now they looking at our following.
Right, but the thing
like,
is, you're ready.
Up, bro. I done did about 3,000 whole shows.
Yeah.
In all different arenas. And you telling me that this person with 1 million followers is packing out all these clubs that you have to be funny to get to.
Well, that's an interesting point on that I haven't thought of, but yet there is now the currency has shifted towards the big thing with the record industry is it used to be you'd come across a guy or a girl or whatever that was like they had all the things, they had it, as they used to, as they still say, like they looked good, they had the image, they had the vibe, and like if they were talented, that was almost a bonus. I mean, as long as they could pass off as like, singing a song, do some studio magic and shit like that, the record company would take you in, invest millions of dollars in you. Yeah. But the only other competition was the other record companies. Now record companies are competing with any Columbia Records is competing with a dude in his basement on SoundCloud now. It's like the number one hit could be some dude you never fucking heard of that just went viral. So record companies,
Nepo babies, that's a thing now.
The fuck is a Nepo baby?
Nepotism
the nepotism babies, like
yeah.
Johnny Depp, I didn't make that up. Like Johnny Depp's like Lily Rose, a bunch of people went after her, but anyway, like,
well, it's just funny because it's like people are like everyone always knew that every big celebrity is just the kid of a celebrity from the previous generation, but now like Gen Z just figured that out and they're like freaking out. They're like, wait, you mean to tell me that Mauve Apatow is Judd Apatow's daughter?
I thought two
from
separate
Euphoria.
Apatows.
I thought she got that job off her merits.
But man, I love Gen Z, man.
Yes,
this is the greatest generation.
The new greatest generation.
Look,
not the World War II guys.
No, because we were the first ones that are like, oh, they're gonna be messed up. I think we were Gen Z. Mm-hmm. Then. No, we wasn't Gen Z. We was X or something like that. I think born after 83 is millennial. Yeah, y'all millennials.
Okay,
but it was before.
It was probably Gen X, I think.
Something we were bad.
Yeah, it was Gen X before millennials. Yeah,
but so with the Gen Z generation, they taking out college degree requirements at Google and IBM.
Yeah. Well, we were the last. The millennials were Gen X. What I think is cool about Gen X is they kind of. When I think of Gen X, I think of a generation that was kind of the original one to be like, we don't give a fuck. I feel like that's why a lot of the hip hop was born out of that, and why like even in the rock side, like the grunge in the early 90s and stuff, that was people in the Gen X being like, dude, we're done with all the overproduced shit. And then millennials, I almost feel like millennials as a generation, we bought back into the fucking lie a little bit. Like we were all like, let's go to college, let's do this, let's do that. We fell back into the thing. And now I look at like Gen Z.
But y'all learn quickly.
We learn quickly, but arguably too late. I feel like a lot of the millennials are in this weird situation where like now they're sitting with a ton of college debt and they figured out it was all bullshit after they're already fucked. And now we kind of look at Gen Z at almost like with this kind of like younger brother mentality. I almost feel like we're kind of looking at like...
I was Gen Z before there was Gen Z. I dropped out of school in 9th grade.
Yeah, I was Gen Z. Eric and I were both Gen Z. When
I
we
just
dropped
spent
out.
all my time on the internet, on YouTube and Neopets. I was Gen Z.
Yeah, I always shit on Gen Z, but I have way more in common with them.
In the fall.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I went to winter.
But like we really did fucking buy into it. But and it's like Gen Z, they came up at a time they've never known anything but the way the world is now.
the internet.
That's the thing with the millennials is we saw it before, and now we saw it happen, the internet and social media, and we were kind of like the first pancake with it. We were like the generation was like, fuck it, I'll fucking say some crazy shit on MySpace. What's the worst that could happen? It's just the internet. You know, we came up in a time when the internet wasn't real life. We came up at a time.
Right.
I remember. I wouldn't even. I wouldn't pay myself to fucking go through my old Facebook statuses and just shit I would fucking say.
I had to mass turn all of my old statuses like private.
Oh, absolutely.
I already know. The minute I make it, I'm not gonna make it. And they're gonna go to Facebook. They're gonna see faggot, spit, Jew. They're gonna see everything.
On the bright side, though, I will say I do honestly, and it's just a vibe thing. This is just my personal experience and the way I'm kind of feeling stuff out. I feel like the worst of all that shit is kind of waning. I feel like we really peaked with that whole like, look at this tweet, because there was too many times and too many examples where it happened, and then it got to the point where it was people were just like, all right, dude, like, all right, we get it. You fucking said something in 2009. Ugh, okay. And people just got tired of it to now it's like, I almost feel like it's kind of swinging back. Maybe. I don't see it getting worse.
Hell no, it's way worse.
You think it's getting worse?
Look at Kanye.
Well, okay. With Kanye though, with Kanye though,
I mean, yeah, we're just like watching a man like emotionally detonate.
He's going off. You know what I mean? He's going off right now.
He's off the rails, for sure.
See, you go off when you disagree.
Yes.
It's every time someone goes off. Mm-hmm. You know, Dave Chappelle went off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you speak different, you're going off. Trump. Mm-hmm. Trump told the truth.
Yeah.
And a lot of lies.
Yeah.
But he let us know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify.
But he was going off.
That's not me. That's not me hating on. I'm straight up. That's not me hating on Kanye. Like I'm not one of those people that's like Kanye's fuck it.
I still listen to Kanye.
I listen to fucking Kanye. I listen to his fucking interviews. I want to hear what the man has to say. Like I'm not one of those people. I will fucking listen to you. But he's going off in terms of like. He's really going above and beyond. This isn't your typical cancellation where somebody just said a joke on Twitter once and then they're like, you lost all your sponsors. This is like, if there's anything, it's kind of like to compare Kanye's situation with like Kevin Hart 3 years ago losing his Oscars job. It's like the amount of shit now that you have to do is not as much as it was 3 years ago is my point. This is not, I still like, I will say
Kanye went above and beyond.
But
he went above and beyond.
He raised the bar.
I think
he set a new standard.
He always does.
But it's always, I think it's always, and I don't want to be the black girl that's saying this, but if you black, it's different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Now, white people, Roseanne, say Joe Rogan, what was that man? Don Imus.
Don Imus, yeah.
Right, you can say some shit, but it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Oprah can say some shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Whoopi can't.
That's very true, actually. Yeah.
And it does. And then I think it's like Kanye, like how you said, once you get that fame, you got the contracts and this and that. My thing is, what better way to get out your contract than scream faggot and nigga?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Release.
There's always a clause for that in every contract.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about Section 9.
Right. Like, I want to be free.
It is pretty crazy that for the last, 5 years, he's publicly been trying to get out of all of his deals. And then it finally did happen. But also, I don't know if I buy... I don't know. It's hard to... Because, I've watched his recent interviews and shit. And, he definitely is going through some shit.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not stable right now.
But
But at the same time, I don't know if it was a happy accident that he got out of all of his deals.
All right.
Yeah.
Think into your bipolar mind. We all comedians here.
Yeah.
Now, I think Kanye, what he does is that he says what he wants to say. And then he says all this outlandish stuff, like Floyd dying over fentanyl overdose. He says all that to kind of throw you off. Like, you crazy. But the truth behind that, what he's saying, you know what I'm saying? You get buried.
Yeah.
George Floyd, Pitbull's got the new Air Jordans. Like, Kanye, what are you saying? So, you know what I'm saying? But he can't come out and just say, they traumatize you and monetize you.
Well, he's an artist, and I always say, when I saw him on the Rogan podcast, the only way I could describe
I'm also pretty sure he only started with the Jew shit once Pete Davidson was fucking Kim Kardashian.
Well, yeah, and that'll do it to you. That'll do it to you.
That'll do it.
When I had some incidents, with my landlords that almost threw me off the fucking edge a little bit. You know,
He mad. Wait up. He mad that man dick bigger than his, but he says that Jews are originally black.
which explains why his dick was bigger. So it kind of circles back a little bit. No, the thing about when he was on Rogan is you would not know what the fuck he was. You would not know what the fuck he was talking about for 8 minutes, and then every 8 minutes he'd say one thing that tied everything back together. And that's what people don't understand is there's no room for color in the dialogue now, where people want everything to be straight and narrow, HR approved type of messagery, where in reality, the reason why we're even sitting here talking about in the room, the reason why he's in this national conversation is because the stuff he's saying is outlandish on the surface, and the stuff he's saying is it's offensive. It's offensive, but it makes you listen.
It's provocative.
It's
It gets the people going.
Yeah.
And if Kris Jenner were my kid's grandmother, I would be worried when they grow up she tried to sell a fucking sex tape of them too. That old greedy succubus ass bitch.
See, we pick and choose. We believe that Kris Jenner did that.
Oh yeah. Kris Jenner pimped out all of her children.
Yeah,
for sure.
But we don't believe that Jews own everything in entertainment.
Just most of it.
Yeah.
There's some Christians up there too.
Christians. Some celebrate Christmas, I hear.
Right.
But no, I think that they did something to Kanye's brain. And I don't get me wrong, he had problems before, but I think when they 5150'd him or whatever.
Oh, they.
I mean,
yeah.
What's the 5150?
Is that
When
MK
they
Ultra?
medically detain you. It's like when when you're unfit and they have to lock you up.
but in a
because of it.
California hospital.
Yeah. Well, that was the fucked up thing is the guy that he took screenshots of he was kid visits with your kids won't be the same after I get you on these drugs, da 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 da.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
But
That's
then
fucked up.
and you look back to who had him hospitalized in 2016 and it was the same guy. And apparently he's ex-Canadian
So
military.
he got a Conrad. Michael Jackson.
Pretty much.
He got a Dr. Conrad.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I would love to be that rich.
And it's apparently it's a personal trainer.
Sam.
It was this quote unquote personal trainer.
I make sure my kids were well taken care of, going to good schools, whatever they want to do, well taken care of. But then mama,
Get Conrad.
Come here, Conrad.
No, yeah, it absolutely is a matter of, when he says a lot of the shit he said, it opened, I think the first big thing that really got people going was when he said slavery is a choice. And but what people don't understand is that opens up a discussion that most people are it is this thing where I don't see anything wrong necessarily with getting people to talk. I don't.
See when Kanye said slavery was an option, that's all that they said that he said.
Yes. Yeah. That's all they're going to tell you he said.
I know every summer when it's hot as shit outside, I always say I could have never been a slave. Mm-hmm. Because,
Too hot.
I get what he was saying.
Yeah.
Some slaves jumped off the boat.
Yeah. And the problem,
I understand what he was saying, but it's more of a mindset.
But yeah, I couldn't have been one of those sweaty like Irish washerwomen.
Yeah.
Doing that shit all day. Like I couldn't have done that either. It's
it
like,
just
right.
brings a level to the conversation that people are afraid to have, and it doesn't make you right necessarily, but it introduces. It's like when something's going this way, it's like it's kind of like, hey, by the way, boom, 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 and then you kind of narrow in on a truer truth a little bit, and there, I don't feel like there's any room for that anymore. And I feel like the medical thing. Dude, when you look into the fucking MK Ultra shit and stuff, fucking Whitey Bulger, Charles Manson, fucking the Unabomber.
I don't have to. My case, it's like I lost my kids just because I don't have money. Like, sure, I'm not like fit probably to have them like every day.
And that's
just,
what
like,
it's about.
like,
Rich and poor.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he basically bought my children. It was like
That's why at the end of the day, I don't care about what Kanye going through, because when you was rich, screaming out Rock Nation and all that, you didn't give a fuck about the Jews.
Yeah.
right.
You ain't say shit. You was cake taking them checks. You can't dance with the devil in the pale blue moonlight. And this ain't this fire too hot now. No.
right.
No. And that's like, we as artists, are we gonna sell our art?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's hard. Like I said, even with the TK Kirkland thing, I find it hard because we're always forming these opinions of people based off of what other people want us to know about them. And so it's like I find it weird that people have these such hardline opinions about people that they've never even been in the same room as before. And that's most people. And the common trend that I found is that usually the people that we're made to hate are the people that don't play the game.
Don't even.
And that doesn't make them. That doesn't make them right. But at the end of the day, Trump didn't play the fucking game. Rogan didn't play the fucking game. Kanye's not playing the game anymore.
Nope.
Elon's not playing the game.
Nope.
And all we hear on a day-to-day basis is hate this man, he's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, what they're saying is this guy isn't playing into our fucking thing.
Yep.
And we've been kind of doing pretty all right with this way things go.
Yep.
And this guy is ruining our whole thing. This guy Rogan has the most viewed show in the world, and we've spent billions of dollars putting on the Tonight Show and all these other things, and we're getting beaten out by some guy smoking weed in his fucking studio.
Right.
And they don't like that.
They don't like anybody going against the norm. Anybody that goes against the
status
norm,
quo, yeah.
Yeah, you will die.
Yeah. Because they
John
have it set up.
Lennon.
Yeah.
That man was singing songs.
Wasn't he a wife beater too? He was great.
It was the 60s.
Everybody was doing it.
Didn't they have the thumbstick rule back then? What year was that?
As long as it's not big.
No, but he's still my favorite Beatle. But yeah.
Nah, but I mean, great people aren't great.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is also the problem, that like we put these celebrities up to be like gods and like greater than thou, and they never can do anything wrong, but it's like they're all still people.
Right. What's wrong with Kevin Hart cheating on his wife? What's wrong with that?
Yeah. And it's not even it's his second wife.
Yeah.
It's the one that he cheated on her with his first wife.
That's like his
How do you think they
wife-in-law.
got together?
Yeah.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He already
Oh my God, that
he
Tiger
got
Woods
beat
documentary,
with a golf
yeah.
club. Like, why are you taking away his
He like
money?
ran over with his own car.
He got his tooth chipped.
Yeah.
That is kind of a great Bill Burr bit when he talks about the Tiger Woods situation, how like all these people that are coming, it's just unconceivable. It's like, dude, like, have you ever had to deal with the amount of, and I'm not advocating for cheating, but there has to be a certain realism where you go and you're like, look, dude, at the end of the day, like he was saying, you're not pulling up in the fucking parking lot of your fucking desk job in your fucking 2001, Corolla, and girls are just fucking flocking after you. Can I suck it? Can I suck it? Can I suck it? It's like a man in a lot of ways is only as faithful as his options. And that doesn't mean it takes a strong man, and I believe it can be done. There's people that don't do it. I wouldn't do it. But also,
hold up. I'm sure when she met Tiger Woods, she wasn't the only, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So then, she's probably doing all the little nasty freaky stuff. Mm-hmm. Then get married and then stop. Mm-hmm. Treat Tiger like he not Tiger.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, don't you know the pussy you telling me no to? I can go and have bitches lick my ass just for the rest of the day if I want to.
Yeah.
So imagine that stress. I'm fucking Tiger Woods. My wife won't fuck me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And this is
his dad is overbearing.
When a man got a certain amount of money, you got to be flipping off that dick.
It's almost selfish not to. It is selfish not to. It's like the amount of shit you're telling me I can't have. I'm saying all right, and then I can't get it. Okay, so this is not me trying to justify cheating because it is wrong. My point is that this is me saying to all the other people that are saying it wrong. It just like reminds me when I was a waiter, and all the time you're 21, 22. Oh, fuck government, man. These fucking corporations aren't paying their taxes, and I'm like, bro, you didn't claim your fucking tips, so now you're not paying dick in taxes. You're fucking lying right now. What makes you think you'd be any different if instead of saving $60 in taxes on a fucking serving a shift, that you wouldn't save $60,000 in taxes working at fucking Lehman Brothers or something like that? It's the same principle. The difference is I remember with this, he was like, well, it's different. Like, they're billionaires. I'm like, the only difference is if you had $1 billion, you'd be doing the same shit. Well, all of a sudden when you're a billionaire, now you're going to pay more, and now you're going to want to pay taxes.
Morals.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, when you're pinching $60, you're going to be loose about $60,000. Give me a fucking break. So all these guys are, I can't believe you did it. It's like, bro, like you know what? I guarantee you'd fucking fold too after a certain point.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You said you gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go.
All right, it was nice.
Awesome.
Nice surprise.
Great time.
I'll
be back.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Please
God.
do.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. Like, she's the funniest person in Maryland. Like,
You're on the mic, Sam.
Like, oh, sorry.
No one's gonna hear.
I'm here, Sam.
Who's the funniest person? The fuck was that?
Duolingo popping up on your fucking computer.
Dua
What was
Lipa.
that?
The fuck? Whatever. Guys, thanks for tuning in to the Live from the Studio podcast. As far as plugs, that was at Sam and the Kelly, at LOL Maria, you said?
Yep, at LOL Maria Sanchez.
Boom. Gigs coming out. By the way, one last topic, obviously. Fucking the move for the house, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, Jimmy and Dan and my brother helped move some stuff over to the new place. Finally got the keys.
Oh, yes.
Finally sleeping over there.
Oh, you're sleeping there now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sleeping over there.
When's the next move sesh, dude? When are we bringing over the pencils and staplers and stuff, all the small shit?
I'm going to try this weekend.
Okay.
I think like after work tomorrow, I'm just going to go straight to my apartment, just pack up all night, and then
Is there any more big
hopefully
shit?
get some shit moving over on Saturday. I have like a computer desk, but it breaks down. I have a couple I have like a coffee table and stuff. I think for the most part, like everything can fit in like cars now. I don't think I have to rent anything. So I'll probably use like my dad's SUV or some shit.
Are you getting surround sound?
Oh yeah.
You had surround sound.
I had surround sound, yeah. I gotta uninstall it at my apartment.
You're not leaving that for the next tenant?
Nah.
Dolby 5.8.
That would be clutch if you. I think that's what happened when Mahedi moved into his house, right?
Oh, yeah,
They had,
that
like,
guy-
surround sound in his basement already.
Yeah, I think that guy was like assassinated or something. He left behind so much shit.
Yeah.
I think the mentality is different when you own a home versus when you're renting an apartment. Like when you're renting an apartment, you're like, I'm taking all this shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. But when you're selling a home, it's like, well, this guy did just pay me $300,000. I guess I could
Yeah.
leave him a fucking Bluetooth speaker for Christ's sake.
We got some shit with our house. We
Yeah.
got lawnmowers, fucking every single outside tool you can imagine. I got fucking like three
You could build a new house with that
fucking
shit.
circular saws, like a bunch of drills, like exercise equipment.
Yes.
Dude, we're set.
You're about to be fucking ripped now.
Yeah.
Fucking construction worker.
Yeah,
just
dude.
sawing shit.
Be fucking woodworking in my basement on the fucking bike and the sled and the fucking dude.
I love it.
It's set up. It's so nice.
Guys, I was just gonna check my calendar, but the new year always sneaks up on me. I'm still looking at December. So we're gonna have to find out just how autistic I am. This Friday, no Valley Inn. On the bright side, I will be at the Valley Inn next Friday with the band 7 to 11. They're scaling back music a little bit. Just doing one band shift on Fridays as opposed to the solos. So I'll be doing that. Thanks. Shouts out to Atlas for at least trying to throw me something. Throw me a bone. That's pretty cool. I dig that. But this Friday, the band will be at the Horse. This Friday, the 6th. The Horse you came in on 10 to close in Fells Point. Saturday, private event. I shouldn't even be saying this right now. In fact, strike that from the record. Next Thursday, the 12th, I will be in Gaithersburg at the world famous Kentlands Brews and Barrels down in Gaithersburg, 7 to 9. Nice dinner, solo acoustic. And as previously mentioned, Friday, the 13th, woo, spooky sophomore boys at Valley Inn, 7 to 11. In the outdoor patio. It's heated and tented and all that, so don't worry about that. Other than that, at Jimmy Selesky across the board, at Sophomore MD. It is, guys, sophomore. Not sophomores, not sophomore. Sophomore. That's how it's spelled. I say this at least once a week, but I don't understand how every one of you listening right now, I'm going to go on a limb and say that every single one of you guys listening at one point in your life was a sophomore in high school at the very least, if not also college. You mean to tell me that you don't know how to spell that? Come on. In the words of ESPN, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Sophomore, MD, at gmail.com. New song dropping soon, whatever. Eric, anything coming up? I know you're still fucking homeowners association over here.
I'm about to mount a TV on my wall.
Fuck yeah.
I'm probably gonna be moving a desk on Saturday.
Let's go.
And yeah.
Follow Eric Glazer at Top Notch MD.
At Eric Glazer on everything. At LFTS podcast on everything. At Sophomore MD on everything. At Jimmy Selesky also, of course.
You already know. Till next week, folks.
Peace.